Singapore income investors. Keppel REIT is trading at around 97.5 cents, and at this price, the yield looks simple, about 5.4% income. But here's the real question. Is Keppel REIT quietly undervalued? Or is this a rate trap in 2026, where dividends hold, but prices don't really move? Because Keppel REIT has just released its 6-month and full-year FY 2025 results. And they also made two major moves, buying more of MBFC Tower 3 and acquiring Top Ryde Mall in Sydney. So today, let's break it down clearly, copy shop style, what Keppel REIT actually owns, how strong the portfolio really is, the dividends you received, the yield at 97.5 cents, whether the dividend is sustainable, and what Singapore income investors should consider going into 2026. If this breakdown helps you think more clearly, please like this video and subscribe to Wealth for You so more Singaporeans can build steady income with confidence. All financial information shared today was obtained directly from the SGX website, based on Keppel REIT's official announcements dated 4th February 2026. And just a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence. All right, let's begin. Chapter 1. What does Keppel REIT own? First, Keppel REIT is not a small REIT. As of end 2025, it owns a portfolio worth about 11.7 billion Singapore dollars. This is a premium, office-focused REIT, anchored right in the heart of Singapore's core CBD, the kind of institutional-grade real estate that income investors usually look for when they want stability, not speculation. In terms of geographic exposure, Keppel REIT remains very much Singapore first. About 79.8% of the portfolio is still based in Singapore, with additional diversification across Australia at 17.2%, South Korea at 2.3%, and Japan at 0.7%. So for most investors, this is still fundamentally a Singapore income REIT, just with a broader footprint beyond our shores. Now, when you look at what Keppel REIT actually owns in Singapore, these are some of the most iconic CBD assets in the country: Ocean Financial Centre, Marina Bay Financial Centre, One Raffles Quay, and Keppel Bay Tower. And importantly, Keppel REIT has now increased its stake in one of the crown jewels of the portfolio, MBFC Tower 3. They now own 2/3 of MBFC Tower 3, with the acquisition completed on 31st December 2025. This is exactly the kind of Grade A, institutional core asset base that supports long-term, durable income. At the same time, Keppel REIT has also expanded into Australia with a new addition. They acquired 75% of Top Ryde City Shopping Centre in Sydney, a major retail mall investment, and occupancy there is strong at 96.1%. So Keppel REIT is not only strengthening its Singapore CBD foundation, but also broadening its income stream beyond pure office, adding another layer of diversification for the years ahead. Chapter 2. Portfolio Strength, Occupancy and Rental Growth. When it comes to dividend safety, the foundation is actually very simple. Are tenants staying? And are rents still rising? On both fronts, Keppel REIT's operating numbers remain solid. As at FY 2025, overall committed portfolio occupancy stood at 96.7%. That is a very high level for a commercial REIT, especially in today's environment, and it tells us that demand for Keppel REIT's assets remains strong. But occupancy alone is not enough. What really matters for future income is whether rents are moving up when leases are renewed. This is where rental reversion comes in. Rental reversion simply means that when tenants renew their leases, they pay higher rents. In FY 2025, Keppel REIT achieved a positive rental reversion of 11.5%. That is a strong signal that prime CBD office space is still in demand, and landlords with high-quality assets continue to have pricing power. So from an operating perspective, the fundamentals are not weak. The buildings are occupied and rents are rising. Which brings us to the real debate for investors. Not whether the portfolio is working, but whether the valuation and interest rate environment will shape returns going forward. Chapter 3. FY25 Full-Year Financial Results. Now let's go into the results. For the full year FY 2025, Keppel REIT continued to show steady growth at the property level. Property income came in at $274.5 million, which was an increase of 4.9% year-on-year. More importantly, net property income, the true engine of a REIT's dividend strength, rose to $215.9 million, up 6.9%. And beyond its directly owned buildings, Keppel REIT also benefited from stronger contributions from its associates and joint ventures. The share of results from associates and joint ventures increased to $124.6 million, representing a solid 13.3% growth. So when you look at the operating business itself, Keppel REIT is still moving upward. Income is growing, and the portfolio is performing. Now, the question many investors immediately ask is, if income is rising, why did the DPU fall? For FY 2025, Keppel REIT delivered a DPU of 5.23 cents, down from 5.60 cents the year before. This is the part that makes some investors nervous. But the key point is this. The decline was not because the buildings failed or because tenants disappeared. It was mainly due to timing and structure. New units were issued during the year, which expanded the unit base. At the same time, the major acquisitions, including MBFC Tower 3 and Top Ride, were completed very late in December, meaning they did not contribute meaningfully to income yet. Full contribution from these acquisitions will only begin in 2026. So FY 2025 was not a breakdown year. It was a transition year, where the portfolio grew, but the income benefits have not fully flowed through to unit holders yet. Chapter 4. Valuation and Gearing. At 97.5 cents, undervalued or rate trap. Now we come back to the title. Keppel REIT at 97.5 cents. Is this quietly undervalued income, or is it a rate trap in 2026? At this price, Keppel REIT's market capitalization is around 4.8 billion Singapore dollars. In terms of valuation, this is where it gets interesting. Keppel REIT's adjusted NAV per unit is about $1.27, which means at 97.5 cents, the REIT is trading at roughly 0.7 times book value, so around a 23% discount to its underlying asset value. So this is not an expensive or euphoric valuation. In fact, it suggests the market is still applying a meaningful discount, even though these are Grade A CBD assets. The trailing price-to-earnings ratio is around the low 20s, but for REITs, yield matters more than earnings multiples, especially since accounting gains can distort reported profits. The bigger macro sensitivity, however, is debt. Keppel REIT's aggregate leverage stands at 47.9%, which is elevated but still within the MAS regulatory gearing limit of 50%. So this should not cause alarm. The gearing was higher mainly due to the MBFC Tower 3 acquisition and the temporary use of bridge funding. Importantly, management has already repaid the bridge loans in full in January 2026, and stated that leverage would have been closer to 40.4% on a pro forma basis. So, this is not a crisis situation, just something income investors monitor calmly, especially as interest rates evolve going into 2026. Chapter 5. Dividends, Yield, and Sustainability at 97.5 cents. Now let's talk about the income you actually received. For the financial year 2025, Keppel REIT declared a total distribution of 5.23 cents per unit. That dividend came in three parts: 2.72 cents for the first half of 2025, an advanced distribution of 1.63 cents, and the final portion of 0.88 cents for the period from 17th October to 31st December 2025. The upcoming distribution goes ex-dividend on 11th of February 2026 and will be paid out on 25th of March 2026. So, income investors did get paid. And this is a moderate, realistic yield, not an extreme one. At the closing price of 97.5 cents, that 5.23-cent dividend translates into a trailing yield of about 5.4%. Looking forward, the yield will depend on 2026 performance. If MBFC Tower 3 and Top Ride contribute fully over the year, forward yield can remain around the mid-5% range. So this is not a dividend trap yield. It's steady, Singapore-grade income. And importantly, the dividend is supported by real cash flow. Keppel REIT generated about $223 million of operating cash flow in 2025, backed by strong portfolio fundamentals. 96.7% occupancy and plus 11.5% rental reversion. So the distribution is grounded in rental income. The key variable going forward is not tenant demand. It is the interest rate environment in 2026. Chapter 6. Risks and benefits of holding Keppel REIT. So what are the real benefits of holding Keppel REIT as a Singapore income investor? First, this is a REIT backed by genuinely prime grade A CBD assets. The portfolio is valued at about 11.7 billion Singapore dollars, anchored by iconic Singapore properties like Ocean Financial Centre, One Raffles Quay, and the Marina Bay Financial Centre complex. These are not secondary buildings. These are institutional core assets that tend to stay relevant across cycles. Operationally, the portfolio remains strong. As of 31st of December 2025, committed occupancy stood at 96.7%, which is not only high, but also an improvement from the previous quarter. And rents are still moving upward. Keppel REIT achieved a positive rental reversion of plus 11.5% for 2025, showing that high-quality CBD space continues to maintain pricing power. At today's market price of around 97.5 cents, the 2025 distribution of 5.23 cents per unit translates into a trailing yield of about 5.4%. A moderate and realistic income level, not an extreme yield that signals distress. Looking ahead, there is also potential upside if interest rates ease in 2026. Management has explicitly stated that reducing borrowing costs is a key focus going forward. And interest rates matter here because Keppel REIT estimates that every 25 basis point change in rates could impact DPU by roughly 0.09 cents per year. Now, of course, there are risks. Not scary ones, but real ones. Income investors should understand clearly. Interest rates remain the biggest sensitivity. Only about 53% of borrowings are on fixed rates, so financing costs will still be influenced by how rates evolve over the next year. Gearing is also worth watching. Aggregate leverage stood at 47.9%, which is fully compliant but close to the MAS regulatory limit of 50%. That said, management has highlighted that this is partly transitory. If the preferential offering proceeds had been received by year-end, leverage would have been closer to 40.4%, giving the REIT much more headroom. And finally, office market cycles do exist. Hybrid work is a structural trend, but Singapore's Grade A core CBD offices have remained more resilient than the broader office market, because top-tier tenants still prioritize quality, location, and prestige. So overall, Keppel REIT represents a balance, a strong foundation of prime assets and stable occupancy, with interest rates being the key variable that will shape returns going into 2026. Chapter 7. Future Prospects. Rate Trap or Rate Tailwind? Now zoom out. The real driver for Keppel REIT in 2026 is not occupancy. It's the interest rate path. The Fed has paused, and markets are still expecting possible cuts later in 2026. But the timing remains uncertain. Management has made it clear that reducing borrowing costs is one of their top priorities going forward, and rates matter here in a very direct way. Keppel REIT estimates that every 25 basis point move in interest rates could impact DPU by roughly 0.09 cents per year. As of year-end, about 53% of borrowings are on fixed rates, and on a pro forma basis, after applying equity proceeds, that hedge ratio would rise closer to 62%, offering more protection if rates stay higher for longer. So if rates ease gradually, borrowing costs come down, dividend pressure reduces, and REIT valuations usually breathe again. If rates stay elevated, income can still hold, but prices may remain range-bound because the discount rate stays high. Keppel REIT doesn't need dramatic cuts. It simply needs rates not to spike again, because stability is what keeps the COPI income engine smooth. Final thoughts. What Singapore income investors should consider. So, Keppel REIT at 97.5 cents. Undervalued income or rate trap? Here's the most grounded way to frame it. This is not a deep bargain where everything is mispriced, but it's also not overpriced hype. At this level, Keppel REIT is trading at a meaningful discount to book value, with an adjusted NAV of $1.27. That's roughly a 23% discount, while still backed by Grade A CBD assets across an $11.7 billion portfolio. The yield is moderate, about 5.4% trailing. Not a too good to be true number, but one supported by real occupancy and rental growth. And 2026 is a key milestone. Financial year 2025 was a transition year, with acquisitions completed late in December. But 2026 will be the first full year where MBFC Tower 3 and TopRide contribute meaningfully, alongside active cost management. So this is a REIT for investors who want steady CBD income, not headline excitement. Built for real life, not market noise. This video is for education only and is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. If this helped you think more clearly, please like the video and subscribe to Wealth for You. It helps more Singapore income investors find this channel. And I'd love a meaningful comment from you. What matters more to you right now? A higher yield today or a stronger balance sheet going into 2026? And what's your holding horizon? 1 year, 3 years, or 10 years? Because at the end of the day, price moves. Headlines move. But for income investors, the real anchor is simple. Prices move. Headlines move. But cash flow is what pays you.